Ja Rule. I agree with Ja Rule on this. And he finally got asked about Billboard's top 50 rappers list that they released last year for the 50th hip-hop anniversary. And Ja Rule was nowhere on the list, which I wholeheartedly disagreed with. Some people could say Ja Rule is not like a rapper's rapper to some people's eyes because he made all the records that blew up were more like love duet songs. But I don't know. I don't see that. I mean, New York is one of the most gangsta. Honestly, I love the New York record. New York, dan, 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 dan. I love that record. But Ja Rule spoke about the top 50 rappers list, and let's see what he said.
I remember, I guess it was last year, Billboard came out with their 50 greatest rappers of all time list.
Yes.
And you spoke up and you said, I have issues with this. By the way, Ice Cube did too. Ice Cube was at number 18. Yeah. He called the list irrelevant.
Well, he's on the list.
He was. I think he's on the list. He's on the list. He said the list was irrelevant. You said there ain't 50 rappers dead or alive or waiting to be born better than me.
But I'm not a hater, though. Congrats to everyone on the list. Congrats to everyone on the list.
So when you saw it, does it make you mad, or what were the feelings?
You know, not really. You know, these lists, they're meaningless because music is subjective.
It is.
You like who you want to like. You know, everybody has their favorite artist and their favorite, whoever. But my thing was...
Let me clear my throat.
Yeah. Because this is a list, comprised by Billboard.
Yeah.
They do numbers and statistics, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so that list is impossible to make without Ja Rule being on it. Statistically, impossible.
Well, I put the numbers up at the beginning of the show. We named all of your rankings on the Billboard list.
And those was number ones. We talking about 17, 20, top 10 entries.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. And there's the artists that on the list that don't have number one records, don't have number one albums.
Right.
So, I'm not knocking anybody on the list because, like I said, music is subjective.
Right.
And when it comes to some of the older artists, you kind of got to go by a different
metrics.
System
it's like, I don't like NBA rankings.
Sales, they didn't have the thing. So
I
get
like
that.
It. Yeah.
But I said what I said.
I agree. But here's the thing that I think a lot of people didn't do when it comes to the Billboard Top 50 Rappers list. What they don't realize, it was compiled by a lot of people, and it wasn't compiled just off of chart numbers and stuff. Billboard does do that, though. That's why I say the Billboard Music Awards is the only honest music awards show, because they go solely off statistics, and that's it. It's got nothing to do with who's popular, who's shifting the culture, who's nothing. It's just, hey, are you pushing numbers? Yes, you are. Are you number one on the charts? Yes, you are. Boom, here's your award. That's why I like the Billboard Music Awards the best, because just honest, it's straight up. There's no politics in it. There's no people voting. It's about, listen, does this guy do the numbers? Okay, give him the award, and it's that simple. So on that aspect, I agree. But this top 50 rappers list wasn't just about that. It was about multiple things. They even listed it off. I don't remember exactly, but it was like concert presence, impacting the culture, lots of things. And yes, Ja Rule has impacted the culture. The rapping and singing stuff, you could say he's the one that's the main one that did it. And then eventually people fall. Now, Ja Rule couldn't sing at the level of a Drake, like Drake can, or even Chamillionaire was doing that. And a lot of people sleep on Chamillionaire, but he wasn't maybe a singer like that, but he was doing the mixture of that. And he does. So he said he had like 17, I think, top 10 entries or something like that. So if we're going on Billboard Hot 100, we're not going off the rap chart. So this Billboard Hot 100 is singles, like, which number ones. He's got 3 number one singles, which is hard as fuck to do, by the way. We're not talking number one on rap charts. We're talking about Hot 100, meaning competing with everybody. Every genre, you're number one for the time. And mind you, these songs lasted there for quite some time. The I'm Real record, Ja Rule, Jennifer Lopez, 5 weeks at number one. The Ain't It Funny record, Jennifer Lopez, Ja Rule, 6 weeks at number one. The Always On Time record, Ja Rule, Ashanti, 2 weeks at number one. And then he has 8 top 10 entries. Put It On Me, number 8. Living It Up, number 6. Down For You, number 6. Mesmerized, number 2. Wonderful, number 5. Mind you, Wonderful came out after the 50 Cent beef that everybody thought Ja Rule, I even covered this on the 50 versus Ja Rule documentary I made. Everybody thought Ja Rule fell off, but Wonderful is a track that came after the 50 Cent beef. So that's great. A lot of entries. And then overall, he's got 17 entries on the Hot 100. Not in the top 10, but just in the Hot 100 in general. So, if you're looking at statistics and even some cultural impact, he does have that. But I think the 50 Cent thing kind of really, really derailed him to the point where, which it shouldn't be a factor, and this is coming from one of the biggest 50 Cent fans ever. Ja Rule's got hits. I think anybody that denies that or tries to clown that or say that's not a reality is just straight up hating for no reason. Ja Rule does have hits, and I agree with him. He should have been on the list. There's a few other artists, but at the end of the day, like Ja Rule said, it's, music is just basically opinions. What do you prefer? What do you like? That's why I never get mad when somebody's like, oh, 50 Cent is trash, and, he can't rap for shit, and the only good album he has is Get Rich. I wholeheartedly disagree, and I think you're a moron, because to say only Get Rich is the only good album, that's ridiculous, but people literally say that and think that. So, but that's their opinion. That's what they think. They think the Massacre was too pop and Massacre was garbage, and then Curtis flopped and all this other stuff. And people say all this stuff, whatever. I disagree with that, but I do agree with Ja Rule saying what he's saying because, I think a lot of people are not whitewashing. This has nothing to do with race. Why did I mention whitewash? But just washing, Ja Rule's kind of career and acting like what he did wasn't one of the most legendary runs. Like, dude, he was beating Jay-Z, DMX. Like, he was beating these guys who everybody hailed at, Nas at the time. The only person he wasn't beating was Eminem. That's it. Because Eminem was Eminem. Eminem was the biggest. But usually you could say from 1999 to 2002, around that time frame, it was Eminem and then Ja Rule when it comes to hits. Like, let's not get that twisted. Like, DMX wasn't getting number ones. He was getting great album sales. Like, this is the weird thing about the DMX and Ja Rule thing. Ja Rule wasn't selling insane albums. He was doing great. Don't get me wrong. I think he went double platinum on some of them, but he wasn't like first week sales weren't insane, but his singles were pushing insane numbers and number one. DMX wasn't getting number ones on the chart when it comes to songs, but his albums were selling like crazy, which is interesting in itself. I really wanted to look into that and see what the reason for that is. But yeah, Eminem was the only one that was like that nobody could beat, unequivocally. Like, you just knew he was number one. But Ja Rule was right under him. Like, there's no denying that. I think there's nobody in 1999 and 2002 and that, I want to say 3-4 year time frame that was putting out as much hits as Ja Rule was. Besides Eminem. That's it. And that's the reality of the situation. I will die on that hill. Y'all want to argue with this with me? I will argue the fuck out of this. I'll do a live show debating with you guys on this shit. I will debate this till the day that I die, man. Shout out to Ja Rule, man. But I would love to do an interview with Ja Rule. I think that would be his. Listen, Ja Rule, if you're watching this and you're hearing me, pull up to the podcast. I guarantee you, when you're getting ready to release your new album, I will give you your best interview. This shit will go viral. I know what questions to ask Ja Rule. So pull up, man. I have a lot of questions about your Pain is Love and Pain is Love 2 albums. I really enjoy those albums. So shout out to you, man.